naniniwala po kami na kahit hindi ito exposed doon sa curriculum na meron tayo sa school, kung talagang matalino ang bata, papasa siya. So, yun po yung mga kinakailangan naming maging students po ng Philippine Science High School because we're preparing them to be our future scientists, mathematicians, engineers, and technologists someday. So, nag-i-invest po ang gobyerno para po maparami po ang bilang ng siyentista at inhinyero, mathematicians, na sana ay tutulong po sa pag-unlad. Kung nakikita nyo po kanina, very evident po yung values na na-imbibe ni Dylan and Elise. This is to serve the nation. So yun po yung nais po na i-produce ng Philippine Science High School na sana pagkatapos po nila ng high school, sila po ay magpapatuloy sa mga kurso na STEM focus. So defined po ito sa kontrata namin. May listahan po kami ng mga courses na dapat nilang i-pursue para po talagang mapabilang po sila sa critical mass of STEM professionals. So, sana po ay lahat po ng nanonood na parents, sana po kung ang anak nyo po ay magaling sa science and mathematics, ito po yung pagkakataon nyo po na to join Philippine Science High School at ang aming susunod po na National Competitive Exam ay mangyayari nitong Enero 2026. January 31, 2026 po ang aming susunod na National Competitive Exam. So, ang ating Cordillera Administrative Region Campus po ay iikot sa mga iba't ibang elementarya to have their campaign at hikayatin ang ating mga students or pupils from the Department of Education and private schools para nga po itry po. So sa bilang po ng National Competitive Examinees po ng Cordillera Administrative Region Campus, 1,300 lang ang mga kumukuha sa exam na to. So sana mas marami pa po ang kumuha ng eksaminasyon na ito para talagang makita natin ang totoong performance ng Cordillera Administrative Region. So sana po itulungan po kami ng PIA at DOST sa aming kampanya. And may I take this opportunity also na i-inform kayo that we have also the lateral admission qualifying exam. Ito po ang second chance ng mga hindi nakapasok nung incoming grade 7. Bukas po ang aming slots for grades 8 and 9. So I hope magkakaroon ng available slots ang Cordillera Administrative Region Campus. So ang aming kampanya ay nagsimula na po noong March 17, 2025 and it will end, deadline of application will be April 15, 2025 and ang schedule of examination po natin ay April 28, 2025. Ito po yung incoming grade 8 at grade 9 this school year 2024-2025 po. So, sana po ay madami po ang mag-take ng exam na to sapagkat ito na po ang last na pagkakataon nilang makapasok sa Philippine Science High School System. So, salamat po.
Ayan, thank you so much, ma'am, the Executive Director of PSI. Ayan, we might as well move sa ating question and answer portion. I have questions over here handed specifically for PSI. So, how many students is currently enrolled in PSI po?
Okay. Currently po, meron po tayong 522 students sa PSI CARC. 249 are male, 273 are female. And kung interested po kayo sa make-up po ng students na yan, sa 522 na po yan, 364 or about 70% comes from the Cordillera Administrative Region. Ang next po na pinakamataas ay Ilocos Region. 119 po are coming from Region 1, about 22%.
Ayan. So thank you so much, sir, sa data. Ano po, ilan na po ang nag-graduate sa PSI dito sa Cordillera?
811 po, sir.
811.
Since 2013.
Ayan. So we have another question. Ano po, sir? Is it hard daw po ba to enter PSI? And can anybody take the exam or are there certain requirements that needs to be submitted or qualification standards na kailangan before mag-take ng exam?
Gusto niyo yung mga bata yung sumagot? Mahirap ba o hindi?
Is it hard?
Okay. Yung qualification po natin, if hindi ako nagkakamali, they must belong to the upper 10% of their graduating cohort, or kung hindi sila napabilang doon, they must not have a grade of lower than 85%. Okay, in science and math.
Science and math.
Okay po.
Okay.
So, ang exam po namin ay one exam lang. Marami naman po ang technically pumapasa. It's just that the limited slots that we have, kasi limited lang po ang Cordillera ngayon to 90 students per grade level. So, maraming pumapasa, but we only take the top 90 passers. So, hopefully po, pag makapa-expand po yung facilities natin dito sa Irisan, we will be able to increase to 120 per grade level. Hopefully po, within the next few years, maparami po natin yung slots sa Cordillera.
We hope. So that there will be more scientists and mathematicians in Cordillera. Ayan. So the question directed to our students, is it hard to get into Pisay?
Actually po, nung nag-take po kami ng NCE nung 2019 po, medyo mahirap po siya if hindi nyo po na-review yung mga topics. Kaya kailangan po, importante ang preparation, maybe 3 to 4 months before the exam. Tapos kailangan nyo rin pong ma-familiarize yung types of, on how to answer the questions, kasi shading type po siya. Tapos kailangan nyo rin pong, dapat po talaga nahasa na po yung utak nyo into answering those questions para hindi po kayo mabigla pagdating po ng NCE kasi continuous po siya. Tas wala po siyang breaks. Yun lang po. Thank you po.
Ayan.
Kung nahirapan po sila, may offer naman po ang Philippine Science High School Cordillera Administrative Region Campus. Ang tawag po namin dito ay tulong-dunong sessions. So, bibigay po ni Director Edward yung detalye.
Okay. Gaya ng sinabi ni Ma'am kanina, ang exam kasi aptitude. So, hindi siya achievement. Ang pagkakaiba kasi, pag aptitude test siya, tinetest yung likas na talino ng bata, hindi yung anong naaral niya. Magkaiba po kasi yon. So, we believe na the test is designed to really filter kung sinong may likas na katalino. Yun nga lang, nakakabigla yung mga tanong. Maninibago talaga sila. Pero we believe na with a few review sessions to familiarize with the type of test, lalabas po talaga yung ano. So with that, actually, we are offering partnership with schools. Kung may mga schools na maraming kukuha ng exam, we will give this familiarization reviews para po ma-familiarize sila sa type ng exams namin. Hopefully, we'll have more details by the incoming school year as we talk with our partners sa DepEd kung sino po yung mga schools na bibigyan natin ng offer for that.
All right. So, Dylan, would you like to share also your experience? Is it hard to get into Pisay?
Nabanggit na kasi po ni Elise Pulate.
So the same.
Apo.
All right. And so when you get into Pisay po, sir, are there certain grade that you need to maintain para hindi po kayo siguro kailangan mong lumabang ganyan?
Yes, sir. So since this is a scholarship program, may retention policy po kami. It's an average of 225 or better para po magstay po sa Philippine Science High School. The first year that you incur a grade below 225 or get a grade of 5 in any subject. So kapag isang 5 na grado, that means termination na po agad. Pero kapag ang average ay below 225 lamang po sa unang taon, you will be under probationary status. Second year that you incur again below 225, termination po ulit yun. So, yun po yung aming polisiya para po ma-maintain yung standard na meron po ang Philippine Science High School. So, sabi nga po namin, kung pumasok ka sa Philippine Science High School, we're honing you to be the best student and to be the next or the future scientists, mathematicians, and engineers. So talagang papatunayan po nila that they are really the best in the region.
Ayun, so mahirap nga po.
Madali naman,
Oo.
sir. Ang
Ayan.
aming cohort ay mataas.
Ah.
So, nasa 98% naman po ang
Ah,
Cordillera.
okay. Ah.
So, that's an average. So, bihira lang naman po yung nata-terminate.
Mm-mm.
And bago po namin bitawan ang bata for termination, series of interventions na po yan ang binibigay ng kaguruhan natin. And talagang mayroon na pong counseling na ginagawa. First, three long or quizzes pa lang, alam na po ng parent. Pinapadalahan na po namin ng tinatawag po namin na academic performance form. Ito yung love letter namin sa parent, informing them of their performance. So, talagang tutok po ang kaguruhan para po sabihin sa magulang at even sa bata na hindi na okay yung performance. So, may intervention, individual man or group review sessions are conducted para po bago po siya ma-terminate, talagang ginawa na po lahat. So, hanggang sa siya na po yung susuko at yung magulang na po ang susuko na magsasabi, hindi siya pangpisay. So, ganun po.
Ayan. It's still great to know na meron palang interventions din na ginagawa to ensure na tuloy pa din ang kanilang pag-aaral. Ayan. So, we also have siguro last question for Pisay. Kung ano yung mga significant milestones or achievements ng mga students in Pisay?
Okay, so marami naman po since 2013. I have short list lang para hindi tayo tumagal.
Sige lang.
So, okay, I'll just mention 7 students, pero marami po yan sila in 2013. Ronald Kabawig, top 3 po siya sa electrical engineer licensure exam. And we have a team in 2013 also that launched Cloud Kitchen. Consumer AI po siya na startup. So, noong 2013, meron na po silang AI startup. It's the first Filipino startup to be accepted into the Andreessen Horowitz Speedrun TechX. So para siyang international na nakasecures po sila ng $1.2 million in funding for their startup. Noong 2013 pa yon. So in 2014, Jess Leal, top 4 po siya sa Electronics Engineering and Electronics Technician Board Exam. Gervais Sinano, top 9 sa Chemical Technician Board Exam. Gabriel Tagtag in 2019, graduated from the Yale National University of Singapore as magna cum laude. In 2020, Sainil Belega, siya po yung nakadevelop ng Brilliant tool for the visually impaired. Ang research niya was recognized by Raptor under Filipino Innovations. And Robert Nelson Leong in 2021, the first Filipino to be champion sa World Universities Debating Championship in 2023 held in Madrid, Spain. So marami pa po sila. Sila lang po yung sasabihin ko sa ngayon.
Ayun. So, nakaka-shock din yung mga achievements nila. Like, going international, top-notchers, ganyan. So, we hope na makuha din yung stories para ma-feature natin sa PIA. For the people to know na with the help of the OST and the PSI, nag-excel talaga ang mga estudyante ng Pilipinas. Ayan. And with that, move na po tayo sa question and answer portion. First on the line is Ma'am Lisa Agoot of the Philippine News Agency. Ma'am Lisa? Ay, uupuan niya ba yung tanong?
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. I have several follow-up questions dun sa mga na-discuss at mga na-mention na ng mga panelists kanina. First po yung kay... Tawag doon? Wait lang.
Go lang po.
Okay, kay Ma'am Nancy, several graduates of several scholars, and this means the government is investing so much on human capital, human development. Ano po ang nakikita nyo na nag-improve sa bansa natin because we have been investing in in persons?
Okay, Ma'am Lisa, UNESCO standard has to be 310 researchers, scientists, engineers per million population. And we are still lagging behind. I think we have 70 as of well, let me go back to my data later on. But what I'm trying to say here, we still need to fill in the gap. If 310 ang standard, and we have still lots to do, this is where the OST scholarship programs are coming in. To reduce the gap where we are now with that of the standard na 310 per UNESCO standard. So medyo malayo-layo pa rin tayo doon. And we hope that with the continuous provision of the scholarship programs and increasing slots in the undergraduate, masterals, and PhD, we will be, yun ang sabi ni Ma'am na, mapupunuan ang critical pool of RSEs, researchers, scientists, engineers in our country. So nag-i-increase po. Yon. I mean, bridging the gap between what we are now with the UNESCO standard.
Ma'am, what year is this po? Yung marireach na natin yung goal?
Can we have that, Alice or ARD Pita? What year is that? Kung, saan tayo, anong level natin ngayon? Based on our last survey. We will give that to you, Ma'am Lisa.
Sige po, habang hinihintay po natin, siguro gusto kong puntahan si Sir Larry. Sir, maswerte po tayo dito sa Baguio City specifically kasi kung sa baba, sobrang init, sa atin, mararamdaman pa rin natin yung lamig. Naka-jacket ka, naka-jacket ako. Maraming nasa kalsada na naka-jacket, hindi si Clint. Anyway, sir, ano po ang meron pa ba tayo? Parang paintindi po sa aming mga ordinaryong tao. Ano po ba ang meron tayo dito sa Baguio, sa Cordillera? Bakit hindi natin nasusubukan yung kainit na meron sila sa ibang lugar?
Yes, thank you for that very good question, Ma'am Lisa. No? Actually, kaya nga po tayo dito sa Baguio City, because of the present weather condition, yung amihan, yung northeast monsoon. Kaya tayo po ay nakakaranas pa rin ng mga cooler temperature, ano? Kaya naka-jacket po tayo. Pero lang din po, ano, yung depende kasi po yung altitude or the elevation of the area. Tayo po ay more than around 1,500 above mean sea level, kaya tayo po ay nakakaranas ng mga ganitong hangin dahil alam niyo naman po na ang isang mataas na elevation ay mas mababa po yung temperatura na nakukuha natin. And then mayroon pa tayong mga present na weather condition like the northeast monsoon, kaya po tayo nakakaranas ng mga malalamig na temperatura.
Salamat po. Gusto ko pong pumunta sa Philippine Science. You mentioned, or there was a mention a while ago na meron tayong 800 plus graduates since 2013. As tawag doon, although may mention na si Sir kanina na some or about 7 persons who have achieved in their specific fields of profession, we would like to know how many of the 800 plus pursued their college degree under the science and math and masteral siguro at nagtatrabaho under this under ng science and math pa rin at tumutulong sa atin.
Sige, ma'am. Tinanong ko yan kanina sa aking Student Services Division, yung tanong, nasa 100, malapit pa rin naman kami sa 100%, sabihin natin 99% of them pursue STEM. Ano po yung mga 1%? Technically, yung mga nag-PPMA sa amin, hindi kasi siya nakapaloob sa STEM programs. Noon meron silang engineering na parang major, pero ngayon wala na. So yung mga ganun po, ma'am. Mangilan-ngilan lang po talaga ang hindi natutuloy. I don't have the exact data ngayon yung ilan yung nagma-masters, ilan yung nag-PhD. Pero top of my mind, yung pioneer batch, dalawa po sa kanila ay nagtuturo na sa amin. One of them, another is a doctor, school doctor namin ngayon. So marami na rin po sa kanila ang nasa STEM fields. But for that exact data po na hiningi niyo, ma'am, babalikan po namin kayo. Uunahin namin, ma'am, si COA kasi sa kanila kami talaga, sila po talaga, ma'am, naniningil ng data na yan. Pero once mabuo po namin yung data na yan, we will provide it to you.
Sige sir, taga-Irisan po ako. Kaya
Taga-Irisan.
malapit lang akong pumunta. Madali kitang mapuntahan, nadadaanan kita araw-araw. Sir, tawag doon, pero yung ano po yung mga profession na dapat nila i-lead after nila makakomplete ng basic education under Philippine Science?
Okay. Pag sinabi nating profession, ma'am, no, yung career na nila later on. So bago muna doon, meron kaming list ng mga approved courses. Yung usual na STEM, engineering, science, math. Pero sa kaalaman po ng iba, noon hindi pwede yung accountancy. Ngayon, ma'am, pwede na, ma'am, ano? Hindi pa. Sorry, yung psych ba noon? Psych, medtech, nursing. Noon hindi siya napabilang sa science courses namin. Ngayon napabilang na siya. So mahaba na po yung listahan na yon. Pero in terms of career, na napupuntahan ng mga graduates natin. Some of them are teaching sa universities, some of them are teaching sa high school, some of them become doctors, some of them become researchers sa mga private companies. Yung campus po na pinanggalingan ko, ma'am, Western Visayas, alam ko yung mga classmate ko, nasa nasa data science, nasa Lazada, mga ganon. Ang iba nasa finance, pero using pa rin naman mathematical models for their careers. So pag sinabi nating science career, hindi lang po siya kailangang nasa hard science na career. Pwede rin silang nasa industry or nasa business. But they are utilizing their STEM training to further or to improve their professions.
Sir, are the graduates mandatory required to get STEM, or otherwise they will pay ba the government?
Yes po, ma'am. Nasa kontrata po nila yan na kung hindi po nila i-pursue yung course doon sa approved namin na list, they will reimburse po yung scholarship, yung value ng scholarship nila.
How much is 6 years?
6 years po.
How much is it? How much does it cost? Magkano babayaran ng isang estudyante na hindi nag-pursue?
Yung last na computation ng accountant namin, kasi merong hindi siya nag-pursue, or minsan kasi grade 11 mangingibang bansa sila, hindi rin yun allowed sa contract namin. So dapat tapusin po nila, otherwise it's called voluntary abandonment ng contract. Ng around 200,000 po, ma'am.
Per year?
Over 6 years na yun, ma'am.
Does that include yung, kasi may accommodation sila, may dormitory sila,
Yes
sir?
po, ma'am.
Yung 200,000 kasama yung accommodation nila, food nila, allowances nila?
Yung sa allowances po yan nila, ma'am. At
Allowances.
yung parang meron silang tuition equivalent din. Hindi rin naman ganun kasi kalaki dahil basic education pa rin naman kami. Guaranteed pa rin naman na free ang basic education under the Constitution. Pero yung extra na binibigay namin dahil sa scholarship, yun po yung sinisingil namin.
Sir, gustong puntahan yung 1% na pupunta sa PMA. Ibig sabihin po ba nito, nagbabayad din sila?
Pinapa-exempt natin sa board, ma'am, no? Pag nag-PMA. Depende.
Kailangan makatapos din sila sa PMA?
Yes po, ma'am.
Pag hindi nakatapos, bayad tayo. Ganun ba bayad?
Hindi naman po. We recognize naman po yung role ng PMA, no? And marami na ring field sa PMA na kailangan ng technologically advanced at competent na professionals. So kung gusto pong mag-PMA ng graduate namin, although wala siya sa list namin, pinapa-approve po namin sa board namin na ma-exempt sila from payback.
That is the only possible exemption from non-payment later
Sa
on.
ngayon, ma'am, no? Parang yun lang. Kung meron sa listahan namin, pero alam naman naming STEM, pero wala sa listahan, alam mo naman ng kontrata, di ba? Very specific. Pinapa-accept din po namin. Kasi every year there are new careers or courses na wala pa sa list kasi ang daming lumalabas na new courses. So, pag nakita naman namin sa evaluation na STEM course pa rin siya, pinapa-exempt din po namin.
Sir, was there ever a time na merong nagbayad?
Marami pong beses, ma'am,
Ay,
may
marami
nagbayad.
talaga,
Opo.
Tawag doon, alam ko yung kapag scholarship po ng DOST tapos hindi hindi niya tinuloy, di ba nagkakaroon ka ng hit sa NBI? parang may kaso ka sa gobyerno because you did not pursue. Tama po ba yun?
Sa undergraduate, I don't know if it's also true with Bisay. We have kasi the return of service obligation. It's 1:1 sa undergraduate scholarship. So as soon as they sign the scholarship contract, ang kanilang mga pangalan ay maisasubmit na sa NBI. So whenever they go outside na hindi pang permanente, pasyal lang, kahit pasyal lang, they need to get clearance from us. And pag naibalik yung return of service na yon, that's the time that we will request NBI to delist them. Yon. And ang mga iba na talagang aalis, they need to pay back the tuition fee, allowance, and other benefits that they receive plus 12% interest per annum.
Mahirap
Sa
na
SEI lang po yun, Mama. Sa DOST SEI scholarship.
Sa inyo po, ma'am?
Sa amin po, ang obligasyon lang po ng aming estudyante ay to take science and technology courses. So, yun lamang po. We don't require them to serve the country upon graduation. So, in case po that they would like to work abroad, okay lang naman po sa amin. We encourage them that they should come back after gaining a meaningful experience sa abroad and serve the country pa rin.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Kanino na ako pupunta? Kay Ma'am Chocolate. Okay. Ma'am, tawag doon kanina, you mentioned na meron tayong mga about 4 million na assistance coming from the OST, which allows you to also tawag doon, train other farmers. Ano po yung tawag doon, yung nakikita nyo na meron po bang magandang kinabukasan ang tsokolate dito sa Cordillera? How good is the chocolates or the cacao of the Cordillera ba?
Last 2019 po, we joined the national competition, yung 70% dark chocolate, and we won as one of the top 5 best 70% dark chocolate representing the Benguet cacao, which has Criollo. Ang Criollo po kasi is known as the best variety for chocolate making. And we have here in the Cordillera. So yun po yung isang inaalagaan natin na variety. And we also have kakaibang flavor profile ng chocolate, ng cacao dito sa lugar po natin. Example ko po ang Atok. It's my first time to taste yung cacao sa Atok na may blueberry flavor. Kaya favorite ko po silang bilhan talaga ng cacao. And for other municipalities like Sablan, sobrang creamy po ng mga cacao nila. I have tasted a lot of local chocolates from the other regions, especially po sa Davao. Ang magandang flavor notes naman po nila ay sa nutty flavor, which is almond, mga ganun na taste, mga more on nuts flavor. Sa atin naman po, we have a distinctive flavor of cacao. And sa atin po, sa Cordillera, since malamig po, hindi ganun kainit sa Davao, may delay yung ripening period ng cacao. But then, the development of the flavor, kompleto po siya. Kaya masarap po ang mga prutas din po natin in the Cordillera.
So that means hindi naman natin competitor ang Davao. We have our own identity. At meron tayong chance, not necessarily bringing them down or competing with them. Ganun po ba yun?
May competition po na nangyayari, but a friendly competition. Napakaganda po ng system ng Cacao National kasi we have this council po na na-organize ang lahat ng regions. Pero when it comes to flavor, distinctive po yung flavor natin sa Cordillera.
Ma'am, would you know kung gaano nakarami ang production natin ng cacao?
Ang data po na nag-gather ko nung ongoing yung project namin, we already have more than 400,000 cacao trees in the Cordillera as of 2023-2024. And yung total ng cacao farmers po natin, we have 1,922 in the Cordillera. Sana po makapag-data ulit kami kasi I believe na pag in-update po natin yung data, nadagdagan po ulit yun.
Ma'am, what's our goal? Dun sa, under ng project nyo, ano po yung talagang goal natin na yung gusto nating mangyari?
Ang goal po natin is mas standardize yung process ng cacao from planting to cacao farm maintenance to post-harvest and from the processing po. Hindi lang sa tablaya kundi sa chocolate making. Kasi po ang mga cacao farmers dito, they are not that knowledgeable when it comes to cacao farm maintenance and post-harvest practice. Even sa pag-harvest ng 70% ripe na cacao, hindi po sila familiar. Kaya yun po yung mga pinapatraining po natin sa kanila. May na-develop po tayong cacao protocol sa Cordillera na nilaunch po natin last year ng February 14, 2024. In-improve po siya ng Department of Agriculture. Siya po yung school on air na dinevelop po namin. Nakita ko po na pag may nag-start, mamomotivate din yung other agencies na i-develop yung naumpisahan ng mga private sectors po.
Ma'am, you have your own brand, The Dolce. Hindi ba kayo, competitor ko to, bakit naman i-share ko sa kanila yung experience ko?
Hindi ko po mapopromote ang kakao kung sinasarili ko lang siya. Kung naniniwala pa ako na if I develop other chocolate makers, may katulong po ako sa pagkuha ng mga supply na kakao. Mai-encourage po namin ang mga cacao farmers. And hindi po ako masaya kung ako lang. Mas maganda po na may ma-develop tayong mga kasama to also encourage yung mga cacao farmers sa kani-kanilang mga provinces, municipalities, and barangays po.
Ma'am, right now may consolidation na pumupunta sa Dolce?
Yes po. Most of our stocks po nanggagaling sa Atok and sa Tuba, sa La Trinidad, sa Apayao po. Bale, ongoing din po ang transaction namin sa ibang provinces na sana makakuha po kami sa kanila. Continuous pa rin po yung communication namin sa kanila, yung pag-conduct namin ng trainings, kahit tapos na po yung project namin.
Ma'am, nasaan na nakakarating ang tsokolate ng Cordillera?
International na po.
Saan po specific?
Ngayon po may current transaction po tayo sa New Zealand. Nakapunta na din po sa Hong Kong. Sa US po, Korea, Australia. Yun po yung lagi naming, Canada. Yung mga countries po na yun yung lagi naming napapadalhan.
Ma'am, panghuli po sa inyo. Kasi iba-iba yung flavors nyo. Meron kayong chili chocolate.
Yes po.
Ano yung pinakamataas na, tawag doon yung demand, yung tawag doon, mataas ang demand na flavor nyo?
Hindi pa din po nawawala yung dark chocolate. We all know po kasi na the dark chocolates, they have a high percentage po ng cacao which has health benefit. Nung last po sa Kakaibagyo, we are planning po sana to develop Kaka-Revive. The Kaka-Revive is a soft gel na parang i-encapsulate sana natin yung cacao. Yun po sana yung project namin. That will be, sana, kung may magsusupport sa amin, that will be the first na naka-encapsulize na cacao, na parang cacao na medicine dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi meron na po sa ibang bansa, but then here in the Philippines, wala pa po.
Okay, salamat po. Ma'am Nancy daw, meron siyang bagong project. Pondohan nyo. Ma'am, tawag doon, panghuli po sa akin, tawag doon kay Ma'am Nancy tayo. Yung certification ng Board of BEI, basta selection, yung nabanggit mo kanina, why do we need to have certifications? Why do we need to certify the teachers?
Yeah, in the law kasi, to establish the competence of the teachers who will run the automated electronic system. Election system, automated election system, AES. So we need to establish the competence of the teachers, at least one certified worker in one precinct ang requirement. So COMELEC ang trainer for the use of the automated machine, automated counting machine, ACM, and then we administer the examination. There's the passing rate, theoretical and practical exams before they are certified.
Ma'am, ano po ba yung pinag-aaralan nila na kailangan nating i-certify? Is it the hardware, the software?
Pag system kasi, it starts with administering the election. So may forms doon, ibibigay, and then tsaka nila i-feed sa machine. So, and then until the transmission of the results electronically. So from the time na ma-administer yung election until the transmission of the election returns, that's the system that we are talking about, and it is being done through the machine that they will use during the election.
Ma'am, tawag doon, anong certificate po yung binibigay natin sila? Is this an NC?
No. It's not an NC. Actually, it's just an examination, and then there's the passing rate. If they will get that, then it means to say they are competent enough to use the machine. Yun.
Ma'am, ano po ang passing rate?
Hansi.
Sige, balikan ko ulit. Balikan ko ulit. Ma'am, what is the extent of the knowledge of our teachers when it comes to computers, and how knowledgeable are they, how confident are they to administer the elections for this coming May?
It's basically based on the certification that we do. Again, probably Hansi will give to us the figures kung ano yung passing rate natin, the percentage. That will spell how competent they are in using the machines. Pero before I give the mic to Hansi, Ma'am Lisa, I need to correct my data a while ago. 380 ang UNESCO standard na RSEs, Researchers, Scientists, and Engineers per million population. As of 2018, we have 356. So a difference or a gap of 24. 24 per million population. How many are we? What's our 110, 120? That's the gap that we are talking about. Okay, Hansi, please clarify yung mga queries ni Ma'am Lisa.
Alright. Hello, good morning po. So for the certification program, EB certification program, meron po tayong theoretical exams. So ang passing rate po noon is 70%. So 30 items po yung exam. And then 21 yung passing score. And then we have the practical exam. This is 0 or passed. So for both, we could only certify kung nakapasa sila sa theoretical and sa practical exams. So yun po. As of this day, we have a passing rate po of 93% for the region. Lahat po ng napa-exam na po namin. So the certification is still ongoing pa po sa other provinces. Ang tapos lang po is Apayao and Abra.
Huli na po talaga. Yung remaining 7% na hindi pumasa, pwede silang mag-retake kasi magsaserve sila?
Actually, nagre-retake na po pagka hindi pumasa sa theoretical exam. 2 takes po yun. So pag hindi talaga sila pumasa after ng 2 takes, magsaserve pa rin naman po sila, pero ililipat yata ni COMELEC dun sa mga teams na merong nakapasa. Kasi ang requirement naman sa law is at least 1.
Okay.
Yes,
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Lisa of the Philippine News Agency. We now have Sir Jong Monar of Radyo Pilipinas. Kuyang Jongs. Right, maybe we can limit the questions to 2 and 1 follow-up question.
Magandang morning po. First of all, congratulations sa DOST sa kanilang accomplishment Director Nancy, after 10 years, you again? Opo, well, general question lamang po. Since, saan ho ba nagkukulang ang ating gobyerno? Especially, of course, sa region or even city or sa municipalities po natin. Regarding, of course, doon sa plastic concerns po natin. For the reduction, of course, ng plastic pollution. We do understand, last year, nag-launch po ng technology ang DOST. Was it continued? Nagkaroon ho ba ng positibong resulta to dahil yung mga LGUs mukhang after launching, wala na pong sustainability? Direct?
Okay. Ano kayang technology, sir, ang na-launch? Anyone?
Yeah, ang pagkakalam ko, meron
Last
po
year
yung...
yan, sir?
Yeah, yung Startup Grant Fund at yung Robin, yung Recycle on Demand Bin, parang ganun po.
Okay, I'm sorry, parang wala sa memory ko yan, sir. But anyway, in terms of plastics naman, we have the DOST Industrial Technology and Development Institute doing continuous innovations as to solving the problem on the use of plastics. So continuing yon, and ARDPita, do you have something to add kung ano yung ginagawa ng ang ITDI and other institutes natin on plastics?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, for the USITDI, develop technologies specifically for solid waste management, solve the problem on plastic waste. So meron tayong, alimbawa, yung plastic densifier na the technology will process to a melting of the plastic packaging materials into it will be reformed to another product, kaya it will be recycled for halimbawa yung plastic chairs. So parang nire-recycle din yung plastic waste. And then aside from those ITDI, there are, baka ito yung relate sa natanong mo kanina, dito sa Baguio, there is a project, an entry project of student, high school batch yata yun, na they develop na parang it's the use of a microorganism with a design of yung garbage bin to ano to, parang hindi yung recycle yung waste. It's not only plastic waste but yung biodegradable waste. Na meron tayo na yung itong projects ng students, pinopromote din natin yon, and also improve kasi yung sa group ng students, we understand that they start from small level, but then with the guidance of consultants or experts, they can improve for use. Actually, related doon sa grind project, yung entry natin na tingi machine, mayroon siyang dinevelop na tingi machine ang tawag niya, to avoid yung use of yung maliliit na plastic materials, yung sachet. Imbis na gumamit ka ng sachet, parang refill. Gagamitin yung machine na yon to refill. So it will help in the reduction of the use of plastic packaging materials. For our products, in support to the packaging of our local products, sinasama din natin yung advocacy natin as much as possible to lessen the use of plastic packaging materials, na kung po pwede yung paper packaging materials, paper boxes, like that po.
So, ibig sabihin po niya, ma'am, in the meantime, at present, wala talaga tayong, may tuturing na facility at that, coming from, the experts of the DOST na tutulong supposed to be sa mga LGUs.
Sir, pinopromote po natin yung technology ng DOST ITDI. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina, example noon is yung plastic densifier.
Yeah, with my indulgence lang po, since problema kasi ng mga local government units, they deal with private entities, institutions, and then they present new technologies with a fee. Sabi na LGU, at no cost at all, hindi po ba? Pero we have experts from DOST, pero mukhang, paano ho ba? Are they really considering you as experts? Kinukuha yung expertise para matulungan po sila na hindi na po sila kukuha, gagastos pa po from a private company or institution. Are we, kahit pa paano, are we ready for this, Director, Ma'am?
Yung sa technology ng DOST, yung sinasabi ko na din, plastic densifier, hindi po siya nagre-require ng yung royalty fee. Kaya open siya, public good siya na pwedeng i-transfer kung interested yung LGU or anong community. Pero meron yung private developed or yung researcher developed na pagka na-patent, kung under patent po siya, sir, we still have to comply kasi meron naman tayong law na i-comply natin yon hanggat sa matapos yung duration ng kanyang patent para maging free yung technology.
Yes, ma'am. Isa pa pong concern na direct yung mga farmers po natin, through concerted effort between agencies, DOST, DA, until now, hindi pa po sila nakapag-a-adapt sa mga new trends of modern technology in farming. Kaya nagkakaroon po tayo ng oversupply ng vegetable production at data na po tinatapon na lamang po. So, ano pong intervention po ng DOST just to minimize this kind of practice?
What shall we say? Napakadami kasing factors pag sinasabi natin na oversupply. For one is, let's say, our crop programming, hindi siya synchronized. And then, yung demand ay mababa kasi mataas nga ang supply. And our intervention for cabbage, last year, we had already the proposal to PICARD and CORCAARD, that's the Consortium on Agriculture of the being spearheaded by Benguet State University. Itong proposal is it's not just solving the surplus of cabbage in terms of food. So ang isang component doon is green manuring by coming up with fertilizer out of that cabbage. And then another study there is for feed purposes. Bali tatlo ang gagawin doon because for processing, hindi yan ultimate solution. We cannot process tons at one time. So ang gagawin natin ay yung 3 modes na yon as to kung pwedeng fertilizer, kung pwedeng pang feeds, filler ng feeds, at saka yung food processing ng cabbage. And we hope that that will be implemented already this year. So yun ang ginawa natin sa cabbage surplus last year. If we remember that, that's February, I think. January, February, meron yun na problema. In terms naman sa smart agriculture technologies, meron naman tayong mga adapters. We have already hydroponics. We have already drip irrigation with controlled systems sa irrigation inside the greenhouse. Marami na tayong adapters already and under setup. So, unti-unti, the farmers are appreciating the benefits of using smart technologies on agriculture. In fact, ang setup cooperator natin or adapter natin in Mangkayan, he was adjudged the best setup adapter nationwide noong 2023. So, our hope is still here, sir, because we are advocating smart technologies to our farmers.
Yes, ma'am. Panguli na lamang po, sir. Ano po? In terms of communicating science? Since eto nga, yung problema po natin sa mga farmers na ayaw po mag-adjust or sobrang dami na rin po ng introductory modern technologies po natin. How do we communicate this one, ma'am? Parang, step by step, they would appreciate it, magiging receptive po sila, at kahit pa paano isusundin po nila. Marami tayong mga success stories Marami tayong mga beneficiaries na umasenso po dahil po sa mga technologies na to. Pero sa pangkalatan mukhang marami pa po yung talagang ayaw po talaga sumunod, ayaw pong gumalaw, walang move on, ika nga direct. Thank you.
We have in terms of documentation, in terms of plan, we have the science communication plan, which is being strengthened from the national up to the provincial level. And ang ginagawa namin is really to have one-on-one consultation with the farmers on the ground. So the PSTOs are really doing that kasi hindi pwedeng sa media lang tayo na sa print o kaya sa television o kaya radio interviews. But we have the provincial offices on the ground doing technology needs assessment. So they have direct engagement to farmers, agriculture sector, and all the other industry sectors in the provinces. Doon talaga nagkakaroon ng faster way of engaging the farmers into what it is supposed to be in terms of production. So doon po. And then, ang isang modality na ginagawa ng mga provinces ngayon, we still have that hangover na to see is to believe. So we have this benchmarking of the farmers to the projects where the smart technologies are. Another one is yung mga successful farmers, we engage them in fora, in forum, na sila mismo ang magsasabi na ito ang ginawa ko and this is what I am today. So there are really innovative ways of doing it by going to the ground mismo. Iyon po, sir.
Alright, thank you so much, Kuya Jong Monar of Radyo Pilipinas. May we have also Sir JJ Landingen of Manila Bulletin.
Maganda pong umaga.
Magandang umaga.
Tanong ko lang po sa ating mga taga-Pisay. Sir, ilan na ho pa mga graduates natin na mga naanyayahan para mag-aral sa ibang bansa? Kasi kadalasan may mga notable graduates tayong mga nabibigyan ng scholarship sa ibang bansa. Sa atin ho ba meron na ho po tayong mga naanyayahan na dumalo sa mga magagandang mga dekalidad na mga universidad sa ibang bansa?
Yes po, sir. Gaya po ng nabanggit ko ganina, one of them was Gabrielle Cherise Tagtag sa Yale National University of Singapore, where she graduated magna cum laude. I do not have an exhaustive list with me right now, pero yung nakikita naming isang challenge ngayon, maraming pumapasa na admit even to foreign universities. Ang challenge po ay wala silang kakayahang tumuloy. Not all have the capacity to pursue their studies abroad.
Ano po ang normal na balakid para sa mga estudyante para to pursue further education on an Ivy League school? Is it normally they're being invited but they're not given scholarship, or are they given full scholarship or partial scholarship or whatever that's giving them a roadblock in pursuing their higher education?
Usually kasi mag-apply ka muna, no, before you can apply for scholarships. And kahit minsan makakuha ka ng scholarship, yung cost of living din yung isang obstacle. And then alam naman natin minsan na kahit nandun na pag minsan nga kahit sa Pilipinas, parents from other provinces hesitant sila ipadala dito sa Baguio City. That's true naman. So what more pa kung abroad? So this hindi lang po kakayahan financially, but sometimes yung fear ng magulang na ipadala abroad yung anak nila, na lalo na kung walang kakilala doon or walang kapamilya to look after them. So those are the usual reasons po bakit hindi sila nagpo-pursue ng kanilang opportunities for studies abroad.
Ma'am or sir, hindi ko pa lang po sino. Do we provide somehow of support to these students to be able to apply or be able to send them abroad? Para bang seed money or whatever like that, or somehow support for them to be able to pursue their higher education?
Ang Philippine Science High School po ay may programa na kung saan ang aming mga estudyante ay kumukuha ng US-based SAT exam po ito. So, may ina-identify po kami na top performing students to take this, and through the SAT, meron na pong susulat sa kanila kung anong university po yung nakakwalifyan nila. And we are very proud to say na 93rd percentile ang mga estudyante natin kung ikukumpara ito sa buong mundong performance. So that's a world record na ang average po ng lahat ng Philippine Science High School na kumukuha po ng SAT nasa 93rd. So that means 7% upper ang performance po ng estudyante natin. Kaya kung titignan nyo po, pag malapit na po ang aming graduation at i-monitor nyo po ang Facebook page, marami po kayong mababasa na students po namin qualified to different scholarship programs abroad. And kasi ino-offeran po sila. Yun nga po nabanggit ni Director Edward po kanina na hindi nga po sila tumutuloy minsan dahil may mas gugustuhin po nilang kunin yung SEI scholarship dito sa Pilipinas o kaya ay scholarship po ng mga pribadong eskwelahan dito sa Pilipinas kumpara sa makibaka or pumunta po sa abroad. So bihira lang po yung pumupunta at kinukuha. At yun po yung gusto naming pag-aralan ngayon sa Philippine Science High School, kung paano po makakuha pa ng aside sa in-offer ng foreign universities na scholarship, mapunuan din po ng hopefully DOST SEI na pwede po naming ibigay pa po o mabigyan po sila ng allowance pa po aside from sa foreign university. So under negotiation na po kami ng DOST SEI.
Director, kailan po tumaas ang budget nyo? Nadagdagan ba ang budget nyo this coming year or this year from your previous budget para to be able to do some changes? Department-wide po ito, hindi lang po sa PSI. Sa inyo po, sa PSI po.
Sa Philippine Science High School po, sa CARSI, particularly tumaas po. Pero sa buong Philippine Science High School system po, bumaba po tayo ng around how many 100 millions. Kasi po ay tapos na po ang mga infrastruktura na naitayo po namin sa Philippine Science High School. So, pero kung titignan po natin, tumataas naman po ang suporta ng ating gobyerno sa MOOE. So, sa locally funded lang po kami bumaba kasi tapos na po ang classrooms na tinatayo namin, mga laboratoryong na itayo po.
Yes, sir. Department-wide, may increase kami this year. I just cannot remember the exact amount. Pero may increase department-wide ang budget namin. For DOST CAR, for this year, nag-increase naman po. At least we surpassed, kasi nung 2023, biglang dip yung budget namin. But for 2025, mas mataas na po yung level namin ngayon of the approved budget compared yung pinakamataas namin noong 2022. So we are talking here of for personnel services, MOOE, that includes the project. We are talking here of an increase of around 30 million. Yung ngayon po na taon. But for the scholarships, sir, the budget for the undergraduate, masters, and PhD is with the OST Science Education Institution, not included in our budget dito sa region, but it is with SEI. That's one of the agencies of the OST in Manila. And then they just download to us the budget for the tuition fee, for the allowances ng mga scholars na enrolled sa regions. Yan po.
Yung suporta po, ma'am, particularly po sa ating mga Filipino inventors, katulad po ng mga graduate natin sa PISAY, mga batang inventor, doon po sa ating mga established inventors, kumusta na po ang suporta ng DOST sa kanila at sa mga kanilang invention po?
Okay, we have actually the law in support to the inventors na being administered by DOST Technology Application and Promotion Institute. So from prototyping until commercialization ay may support po ang DOST sa mga inventors. For instance, dito sa CAR, we have the group of inventors, that's the FISCAR, Filipino Inventor Society Cordillera Administrative Region. May mga inventions po sila which DOST funded for prototyping. And whenever they need other support like commercialization and so on, they can still avail of the various programs and projects of TAPI for inventors.
May na-deploy na hubang mga imbensyon ang ating mga inventor na nasa merkado na po ngayon?
Okay, may isa lang na local na pinagawa yung it's a company-based problem. I think Pulveron, J. Dispenser ti Pulveron. That's the one being done, or that's the one designed by the FISCAR for one of the firms here in the Cordilleras. We also have the water purification of one of the inventors here. Nanalo pa siya, and I don't know ARDPita kung na-patent yun. Na-patent, sigurado na-patent yun, or kung na-commercialize. That's the invention of Mr. Doke. Sa national level, meron po naman, sir, if we can give you the list after we get it from TAPI, pwede naman po. Ang mga na-commercialize talaga.
Panghuling tanong na lang po sa ating mga entrepreneur po. Doon sa suporta po ng DOST sa mga binibigay sa inyo na mga machinery, ano po ang kahilingan nyo po na idadagdag or kakukulangan pa po sa inyo para makapag-upscale kayo ng inyong production po ngayon sa inyong mga ginagawang mga produkto po? Doon po sa ating mga entrepreneurs na nandito po yung mga produkto nyo ngayon. Ano po ang mga kulang sa inyo para makapagdagdag production?
Ayan. So, Ma'am Dulce, what support?
Okay, lista po. Kung ako po, since ang goal po kasi ng Dulce, dapat hindi kami nagsa-stop sa pag-innovate. So, nung natapos po yung project namin under sa WH-WISE, we produced yung locally made na chocolate spreads in different flavors like matcha chocolate spread, strawberry chocolate spread, yung mga yon. Ang may current problem po kasi kami, pagka tinatravel siya sa mainit na lugar, nagme-melt din yung spread. Colloid kasi yung type ng spread po namin. And tinitignan pa po namin kung papaano kaya namin ma-maintain na hindi sana mag-melt yung chocolate namin. And yung na-mention ko po kanina kay Ma'am, yung Kaka-Revive capsule.
Sa mga iba pa po nating entrepreneurs?
Okay, sa akin din po, since 1 year lang akong naka-avail, so far for now, dahil ka nag-upgrade ako from personal oven to 3-deck oven, so I am okay for now. After 3 years siguro pwede akong mag-reapply.
Oh, wow.
Sir.
Ayan, so for us naman, so the project naman, we were able to utilize the budget, pero of course, nag-abuno pa kami ng konti. Kaya dun sa project po namin, parang may IOL counterparts pang parang nagastos to talagang makompleto yung project and to continuously market it. And right now, the project right now kasi because of the lack of reception from our target market, which are cooperatives, we have to take a pause at the project, tapos we have to develop another product, which fortunately sinagot na naman ng DOST. So under TAPI naman siya. So we are trying to create Zigmafy, yung POS or yung point of sale system or retail management system namin. Na ngayon naman we are currently doing, and based on our estimates, I think we should finish around this month na rin po yung project. So yan po. So we are still actively collaborating with DOST. Actually meron din kaming isa pang project na collaborating with DOST to develop a certain system ngayon. Ayun, so madami rin po talagang opportunities sa DOST, and yun lang talaga, they'll have to you have to search or actually know people na pwedeng i-refer yung project na yan. So yan.
Okay, so for the project Sunshare, actually we are invited from the OST also for the commercialization. So together with Ma'am Telma as the investigator, we attended a 5 days training for the FEC naman, and this is towards commercialization of our product. So what we want is that it will be deployed in a community. So because it's a Sunshare, what we want is that ma-develop namin fully yung smart meter and also the system that it can really trade the energy. And the FEC na sinalihan po namin is that they are asking us to gather 40 interviews, and actually on Saturday we need to pitch already yung improvement or yung result nung mga in-interview namin, if it is still the technology will be adopted by industry or homeowners. So hopefully there will be another funding for this one, kasi dun sa FEC kasi na yun, they are teaching us, the innovators, to be entrepreneurs, and how we will now market our products to household or to industries po. So hopefully by Saturday may pitch namin to, and we will get a good news for po. Yan.
Ma'am, dun sa nabanggit po nila, ano ho ba ang aim ng how far can DOST support them until mag-mature ho ba yung technology or mag-mature yung kanilang market, or is it just for the initial startup lang po ang suporta ng DOST?
Short answer there, sir, is from ideation to commercialization of a technology, DOST is there. Ideation is yung concept pa lang is pwede namin i-assist yung isang an individual entrepreneur or anyone for that matter, and that is through the TBIs in place. And then, ang aming mga projects na innovation hubs namin, we can entertain those. Usher that to another level is that the proof of concept, let's say, from idea to proof of concept, i-assist namin sila Ang mga programs doon, marami na, and then pag kailangan naman ang incubation, we have the TBIs already in place in the region. Pag innovation naman, existing product yan, and it needs further development, there are also innovation centers in the region. Kung wala dito ang competency, we can always tap the innovation centers of the OST in Manila. And then prototyping, we have TAPI programs. Commercialization, we have TAPI programs. And also programs in place in the regional office. So meron po yun, sir, na different programs along the value chain from idea to commercialization. Bali, complete package na po yan, sir, depende sa level na kailangan. Case in point, yung sinabi ni Ma'am Dolce, regarding product development, we are supporting that. We have this very specific project, let's say, na need niya na hindi niya pwedeng i-conduct yung innovation process. So we partner an individual to an institution, either sa amin or kaya sa institution andito sa region, for them to do the solution of her problem. We also have an R&D fund specific for product development, let's say, ng isang firm. Let's say, pag si Ma'am Dolce, pag gusto niyang i-R&D yung capsulating, ay in capsule form, yung chocolate, at saka ma-improve yung product niya na spread, chocolate spread, to solve the problem na nagme-melt siya or what, pwede niyang gawin yon. 70% of the required budget for that will be provided by DOST, 30% will be her counterpart, but the 70% will be returned to the government within 3 years without interest, ang 70% na yon. Pero pag institution ang gagawa ng solution, the funds will be given by DOST to that institution, and the output will be adapted by Dolce. So, it's a problem-based talaga yon na ready ang mag-a-adapt sa technology na gagawin ng mga institutions. So, meron naman modalities. Depende kung ano yung problem ng firm or individual. We can always suit it to our value chain, the process.
Marami pong salamat.
Ayan, so napaka-flexible din pala po ng DOST. They're finding ways para ma-adapt ng ating mga MSMEs ang mga solutions sa kanilang mga problems. Alright, so finally, we have Sir Primo Agatep of Amyanan Balita Ngayon.
I have only one question to make it sweeter. My question, ma'am, is to the sweetest of all, si Ma'am Eva. Ma'am Eva, you mentioned several areas. You're now transacting to several countries. Para maengganyo yung mga ibang project beneficiaries, maybe kay Ma'am Nancy at sa iyo, your, shall we say, capital or government support subsidy, if I call it, or grant, is 4.7, di ba? So how do you translate that, ma'am, if you are now transacting to the business? Are you now earning? And how much in million, ma'am?
May kawa po ba dyan?
Hindi, walang BIR dyan. Sige.
Yes po, we are already earning. Sir, when we started the business, we were looking for cacao na supply kasi kulang po kami sa supply ng cacao. And then that's the time we noticed na may problem pala sa cacao industry here in the Cordillera. They were given seedlings na itanim, pero nagkulang sa support. So parang nakafocus po kami on supporting the cacao farmers. Nang sa ganun, magkaroon po sila ng quality produce na cacao. Yung hindi na namin kakailanganin kumuha sa ibang lugar. So ngayong, the WH-Wise grant is our first grant po na nakuha from the government. In-encourage po kami ng DOST na mag-join. Most of the grant po napunta sa project namin sa pagbibigay ng training sa mga cacao farmers, but then may 1.7 na allocation po para sa pagkuha namin ng mga equipments po namin para makumpleto po namin yung steps sa paggawa ng chocolate, especially yung sa roasting ng cacao. Nag-acquire po kami ng roaster. Ngayon po, yung sinusuplayan po namin yung transactions namin sa ibang bansa, karamihan po doon, noon pa po, pero na-stop nung COVID. Yung New Zealand, that's our newest transaction, na first time po na magsusupply kami sa isang company. Yung ibang nasusuplayan po kasi namin sa abroad, that is just for personal consumption. Yung sa New Zealand po, company po mismo yung umu-order. Kaya po nasabi ko din na ongoing yung transaction natin, kasi they required us po na magkaroon ng CPR. Nagpa-test din po kami last year, but then nagkaroon ng notice ang FDA na kailangan yung sa fat content ng chocolate should be specified, na hindi po kami na-inform. Nag-appeal po kami i-reconsider since natamaan po kami. Parang kunyari nagpa-test po kami ng May, June, July. Lumabas po yung notice nila ng June, parang ganun. Nakapagpa-test na po kami ng ibang products. Kaya ngayon po, we have to go another testing po to make sure po na pasok yung sa testing. Sa SGS po kami nagpa-test. So iniintay na lang po namin yung result ng testing para maka-apply kami sa CPR. But then the New Zealand, they already gave us an initial order po na 6,000 bars, minimum of 6,000 bars per transaction po.
I still insist, ma'am, I hope you don't mind. I still insist, if you don't mind, with your indulgence. In peso value, ma'am, how much?
Teka po.
Hindi, kasi, I mean, no, we have the R&D, you have the programs of the government.
That's
right?
ano po.
Kasi through the years kasi, I hope you don't mind, mama. Through the years kasi, kulang ng R&D yan. Ngayon, para maingganyo tuloy lahat yung mga, it will be translated into economic value, yung mga programs ng government. So you are now one of my test case. If how much, ma'am?
That's ano po, 1,110,000. Pero wala pa pong payment yun, Pero we have a client po, yung bagong hotel, the Wright Park Hotel. They ordered 11,000 pieces of chocolate bites that will be served po sa mga hotel rooms po nila. Yung mga hotels po nakakaya na po naming supplyan. Hindi na po kami natatakot magsabi na baka hindi namin kayanin yung production kasi may mas malaking equipment po kami. And personally po, sir, as an MSME supported by a government agency, ayoko din naman po na masasayang lang yung support na binigay nila. So ako din po as an MSME, ginagawa ko din po yung best ko na makita po nila na may something is happening with our business, na hindi po sayang yung support na binigay nila sa amin.
Neto, ma'am, ito 1.9, ma'am.
Gross po yan, gross.
Ay, gross ba ito? Lastly, ma'am. Ma'am Nancy, Ma'am Eva said she has a lot of challenges. Ano yung sinabi niya kanina? Processing, post-harvest, etc. How are you converging now, ma'am, with the other government as far as the DA? For example, like in the processing and post-harvest facilities dyan sa Baptisi is still a dream. How could you make the dream again so that the net profit or gross income of EVA will further increase, ma'am?
Cacao actually is a convergence commodity of various agencies. The OST is one, DTI, DA. Actually, EVA is the president of the Cacao Council, and the oversight agency for cacao is DA, right? So, yun, tulong-tulong. DA, of course, we know that they have the PhilMech on post-harvest technologies and mechanization. Doon naman sila strong. Sa processing side, doon din kami tutulong. And then production pa rin, tulong-tulong, although DA is the agency involved with that. So in other words, sir, we are helping. We are in a council where various agencies, the processors and farmers are in that council for us to strengthen and even enhance the development of cacao industry.
Ma'am Eva, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am Eva, do you have a facility? I hope it's the first time to engage you. Do you have a facility, an area?
Yes po, you can visit us po sa Irisan po.
Saan, ma'am?
Sa Irisan po.
Sa Irisan.
Yes,
that's my barangay. Thank you.
Yes po.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Primo Agatap of Amyanan Balita Ngayon. Ayan, so do we have any more questions? I believe we had a very healthy and informative discussions, and with that, hingan na po natin ang closing statements ang ating mga panelists today. So may we start with our cooperatives. Any closing statement po? Ayan. So okay na. Si Ma'am Dulce, any closing statement? Good? Ayan, so parang okay na yata sila. Ma'am,
Okay. Thank you for having us. Pasensya, kanina ako ninervyos. Anyway, yung product ko po ay pwede nating mabili sa Sapatan Restaurant, sa Road Trip Restaurant din sa Mabini, sa Cypress, at saka sa Man Cafe sa Tuba. Thank you po.
Alright, thank you so much, ma'am. Sir?
Good, almost afternoon. So, anong oras na? 11:56. Ayan. So yeah, thank you for having us. We are IOL Inc. So, if you want to if you want to learn more about IOL Inc., you can follow our Facebook page, fb.com/IOLPHcom, and you can also follow our our YouTube. We also upload some videos there. Mostly of our startup talaga journey, makikita nyo talaga dun sa social media pages namin. And yeah, if you want to develop a system or a website, you can visit naman or inquire sa IOL Inc. and we will accommodate and help, and we can talk about how we can help. Yeah.
Okay, so from UC representing Sunshare, so thank you for having us, and again, kung may kailangan din kayo from UC or sa innovations, we can also help. You can visit our office sa Legarda campus. And you can also see yung setup namin sa solar and yung sa Sunshare dito sa may UC Legarda. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We now move to the Philippine Science High, the administrators and our students. Closing statement.
Sige po. Maraming salamat din po, ma'am, sa PIA din also, and DOS. Last na lang po na information from us. The Philippine Science High School is included sa National Priority Program ng government, wherein we tie up with private sector donors na gustong mag-donate sa aming laboratories for tax incentives. So kung meron po kayong gustong research na ipagawa sa amin, you may donate either yung chocolates nyo, ma'am, pag-eksperimentohan namin, kami po mag-taste test. Meron pong tax incentives yan. Gagamitin po namin for our research programs. So anything where we can partner sa industries, our students can do their research on it, and then ma-incentivize po yung sa amin, mga contributions. Thank you po.
All right, any more, ma'am? All right, so we now move to Pag-asa, Engineer Hilario Esperanza.
Okay, muli magandang tanghali po sa ating lahat. Ako'y nagpapasalamat sa DOST-CAR, especially Ma'am Nancy, for inviting me this kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Anyway, ang Pag-asa naman ay tuloy-tuloy at ina-update ang pagbibigay ng mga with regards to weather-related information and services. So, muli maraming salamat po sa pag-imbita ng Pag-asa Baguio Station.
Thank you so much, Sir Engineer. We now have Dr. Pita Pikpikan, the Assistant Regional Director for Technical Services.
Good noon to everyone. With the ending of this kapihan for today, we hope na listeners there will be approaching not only the USC but our partners from the industry sector for access the services of the UST with our other DOST attached agencies and with the help of our partners from the industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pikpikan. Now we call on Ma'am Maria Rowena Madarang, the Assistant Regional Director for Finance and Administration.
Magandang tanghali po ulit sa ating lahat. Aligned to the presentation of RD Nancy a while back on the role of our RDIC under the RDC, may I just focus on the CRHRDC or the Cordillera Regional Health Research and Development Consortium under the purview of the Philippine Council on Health Research and Development. We have currently, we have 28 member agencies, and we would like to partner with our local government units because we would want to strengthen the translation of our research results on health, coming up with policies, programs, guidelines, whatsoever. So we will be working on this, partnering with the local government units. We will be having we will be going around the Cordillera to partner with our local government units. And secondly, if I may be allowed also to announce this call for applications. It's a thesis grant from the 2025 DOST PCHRD Undergraduate Thesis Grant in Natural Products. We are calling for third and fourth year students of pharmacy, chemistry, nursing, and other health and allied sciences related courses. So the study must utilize natural products from terrestrial and maritime plants and microorganisms indigenous to the Philippines. So the study must be focused on human health, and the project must be conducted from August 2025 to May 2026. Submission of applications will be up to April 30, 2025. So calling the attention of our third and fourth year students on pharmacy, chemistry, nursing, and health-related courses. Thank you very much, and thank you. This is DOST-CAR, and Happy Women's Month po sa atin lahat.
Happy Women's Month. Thank you so much, Ma'am Maria. We now have the Assistant Regional Director for Field Operations, Ms. Alicia Balakua.
Yes po, makaagham na tanghali po sa ating lahat. So on behalf of the DOST-CAR, together with the 6 PSTOs po, region-wide, are always here to continuously provide solutions and open opportunities to all our stakeholders region-wide po. So with our various PPAs po, kanina na present, these are all implemented in our various provinces. So we continuously provide innovations and help our stakeholders also. So this is executed through our active collaborations with our partners, with our MSMEs, with the academies and all. So this is evident po with our cost sharing and whatever resources that we have, we share. We also continuously provide po yung innovations in all our operations and the MSMEs that we assist in the region, and also with all po. So we also would like to announce po the entries are to be submitted for the clusterize. Yun po yung cluster na pwede po nating i-showcase po yung mga invention. This will be conducted in ang deadline po of the entries was extended until March 31, sorry. So all of the entries are still accepted. So for more details, you may see po yung ating DOSCAR FB page for this. So yun lang po, sir.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Alicia. And before we finally hear the closing message of the Regional Director of the Department of Science and Technology, let me just go ahead and acknowledge itong mga support system po din natin all the way from the provinces. We have the DOST-CAR Provincial Director of ABRA, Engineer Raf Sapiil. We also have the Supervising Science Research Specialist, Mr. Carlos Bautista. The officer in charge of the OST-CAR PSTO Ifugao, Engineer Don Ognayon. The Provincial S&T Director of the OST-CAR Kalinga, we have Ms. Jasmine Donaal. And Provincial S&T Director of Mountain Province, Engineer Angel Magan. And of course, finally, the OST-CAR Provincial Director of Benguet, Mr. Jesus Patricia Felipe. And with that, may we now hear the closing message of the region. Department of Science and Technology Regional Director, Ma'am Nancy Bantog.
Okay, thank you so much. And first is my announcement, our announcement for the Cord Innovation, the third Cord Innovation activity, April 10 to 11 here at the Paragon Hotel. The most exciting part there is let us hear from the local government units their problems, which the higher education institutions and research and development agencies of the Cordillera will provide solutions. Either meron na or gagawin pa nila. Aside from the pitch of the local government units during that activity is the pitch of the micro, small, and medium enterprises. Agriculture ang isa na ipipitch nila na anong problema doon sa agriculture. And of course, thank you so much for this Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas, our host, the Philippine Information Agency, and the media outfit who are here with us this morning. Hindi ko na kayo papangalanan, but you are our partners in our promotion and advocacy. And fourth, we would like to thank, we are all in one and giving our gratitude to all of you, our media partners, the OST-CAR, Philippine Science High School CAR Campus, and Pag-asa. My last is, ang makabagong Pilipino ay maalam sa siyensya at inobasyon. Ang makabagong Pilipino sa bagong Pilipinas, rather, ay maalam sa siyensya, teknolohiya at inobasyon. Mabuhay ang bagong Pilipino sa bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you so much, ma'am. As we've heard in today's discussion, the Department of Science and Technology has been working really hard to uplift the region's science and technology. With these developments, we hope that the DOST continues to prosper and innovate for our society, especially for the grassroots communities. Thank you so much to our guests for sharing your insights and to our viewers for joining a rather enlightening episode of Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas. Stay tuned for more conversations on governance and development right here on this program. Until next time, mabuhay po tayong lahat, mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas. Mabuhay. At dahil dyan, sabay-sabay po nating banggitin ang shout-out ng DOST Cordillera. Ay, ng DOST. 1, 2, 3, go.
One DOST for you, providing solutions, opening opportunities.
Hey, maraming salamat po.